be live. And then there we go. Preparing to live stream the webinar. And just a moment, it's slowly feeding this progress bar, and then I'll have the charts done. Redirecting to YouTube now. Let's see what's happening next. Okay, so we are live streaming on YouTube. All right. Okay, so let me share the screen, and I'm going to talk about the trades from today. There we go. All right, everything's working, everything's good. We should be live on YouTube right now. Okay, so we're going to talk about the reversals. I get a lot of questions. There we go. I'm getting a little bit of feedback here. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about my the strategies that I use with the trade copier. So if you're here on this channel, you're watching the video. Let me get this out of the way. So again, if you're on this channel and you're watching this video, you're interested in not only the trade copier. So normally you would think of the trade copier as something that just duplicates trades from one, like let's say you're doing it yourself and you're trying to execute trades and you want those trades to go into another account that you own. But the trade copier that I use, it's FX Blue, and it's basically a trade duplicator. So when I execute a trade on my platform, the trade copier will duplicate the same trade and put it into your MT4 account. So basically I'm trading for you. Back in the day when people were looking for programs like this, they used to call them robots. They still call them robots today, but I guess it's kind of like a robot, but I'm not the robot. I'm actually the one executing these trades. So then when someone is considering and interested in my service, the trade copier, now they want to know, what do you trade like? What's your style? What do what size stop loss do you use? How many trades do you have? What is it that you're doing? Do you have enough experience? That's the other big component, I think, to deciding what service to use. How much experience do these people have? Like I go on Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook, but every once in a while I'll go on Facebook or on YouTube, and I'll see videos from people that clearly just don't have very much experience. And they're trying to teach their strategies. They're trying to teach their ideas. They tell everybody, I'll teach you how to trade. Just, whatever it is that they're trying to do. Some of them are introducing brokers, all kinds of things going on. And I see that a lot of people are trying to learn how to trade or using services from people that just aren't qualified. And I've been trading since 2001. This is all that I do every day, all day long. That's all that I do. Even on the weekends, I'm looking at charts. I'm always trying to trade. I'm teaching, coaching students. So the system that I'm going to show you and the way that I execute these trades, it's always the same. I don't change it. I've been in chat rooms and joined other services back in the beginning of my trading career. And again, these services were operated by people that just didn't have very much experience. And it was like almost every Friday they would say, okay, guys, get really excited because next Monday we're going to drop a new trading system here. And you guys are gonna love it. It's produced a lot of great results. We've done a lot of back testing. And they were only saying that because they produced such horrible results that week. And they knew that they were going to lose a lot of subscribers. And I don't trust a system that you always have to change anyway. Like that never made a whole lot of sense to me anyway. I know that there's adjustments. You need to make adjustments to the way you trade under certain conditions. The market changes. The market changed quite a bit during July and August. So I had to make some adjustments. And during the global financial meltdown, 2007, 2008, 2009, I was making some adjustments as all of that was all starting to pick up, that, the whole crisis. But the strategies themselves, they always remain the same. So let me walk you through how I traded these reversals here. So this is a 30-minute chart. And when I trade reversals, and I think you need to know that trading, because this is what's going to go into your trading account. This is what's going to make you money. So you could be sleeping, you could be at work. I'm going to execute a trade like this, and this money's going to go right into your trading account, your MT4 account. You can also use the trade copier with any dollar amount. There's no minimum. You could use it with $50 in your trading account. There is no minimum, there's no maximum. And then you set up and specify the lot sizing. So this strategy here, you're looking at a 30-minute chart. Obviously, it's the pound dollar. And this page, this template here that you're looking at, this is my reversal template. So I'm using some indicators here that help me identify and confirm reversals. This is the way I've always done it. These are the indicators that I use. I primarily rely on Bollinger Bands. I built my trading system around Bollinger Bands. Now, it's not to say that the Bollinger Bands tell me what to do. Price levels do, entry points, support and resistance, things like that. All of that has an impact. So I mentioned, and I say this quite a bit, I've said this for years, I built my trading system on solid market principles. What that means to me is that when price reaches support or resistance, a key level of support or resistance, very often we see the market react to it. The markets, traders will react for the most part in the same way. Economic data, support and resistance, whatever the case. I mean, back when the pound was dropping through the 2000 level, and then they immediately, or not immediately, but shortly after, a series of announcements and statements and comments and rumors that were designed to defend that 2000 level on the pound dollar a couple of months ago. And it worked. And the market reacted to it. And that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted the market to react to it. It didn't involve bank intervention. It wasn't a financial situation. It was just a matter of releasing a series of statements that were prepared. Some of them were not throughout the day, throughout the following couple of days. And for 3.5, 4 weeks, the pound dollar rallied and pulled away from it. So again, the market's going to react to certain and key support and resistance levels in very specific ways. And what's behind it and what drives it is also going to have a big impact. So we're looking at a 30-minute chart. We're not looking at a daily chart. We're not expecting a huge move. We know that Brexit and comments about Brexit can cause some kind of a move, maybe 60, 70, 80 pips, maybe for the day, maybe a spike in one direction for like 40 pips, and then right back to where it started. All kinds of things can happen there. But for the most part, we're looking at the time frame. I'm looking at the time frame that I'm trading off of, the 30-minute chart, and I'm having realistic expectations about what I could expect from a trade if I trade on this time frame. So again, I'm not expecting a 200-point move with Brexit if I'm trading off of the 30-minute chart. It could happen, but that's not likely under these conditions right here. So when I'm looking at, let's say, a move from last week, we saw a bullish move last week, Thursday, Friday. The market was still expecting maybe a little bit more. And then over the weekend, we got that news about Brexit that caused a slight pullback, and it's been dropping ever since. Regardless, here is a clean price swing on the 30-minute chart, and it was holding at resistance. This is the 1.3 thousand level. This was Tuesday's trade. This is the 1.3 thousand level. And what it did was basically created that fade the double zero. So each one of these techniques, each one of these strategies tells me, the ones that I execute, it tells me what to expect. Where's my take profit level? And where's my stop loss? And again, I'm trading off of the 30-minute chart, so I've got to respect these near-term support and resistance levels. If I'm selling it, I got to be aware of support, maybe other support levels over here to the left that might be old resistance, things like that. So again, realistic expectations, take profits. I'm day trading here. I'm not swing trading. That also tells me that I've got to pick specific take profit levels and then take profits at those levels. I can't keep holding indefinitely. I see a lot of people, they still do that even after years. They get into a trade, they're up 30, 40, 50 pips, and they think, I want more. So they hold a little bit longer, and then they end up giving back profits. So my trading strategy has very specific take profit levels that repeat over and over and over again. I basically do the same thing. I wait for the setup. I get in when I'm supposed to. I use the right stop. I take profits where I'm supposed to. I'm done. I reset and I wait for another opportunity, whether it's maybe on the same day on another currency pair or just wait for the next trading session or two. And I just reset and do it again and again and again. This was a reversal trade. These were for the most part reversal trades yesterday and today because it's inside of this consolidation range. It's trading between the 3,000 level and the 2,900 level, a 100-point range, and I'm trading off of those levels. I know that the market's going to react off of significant support or resistance levels, and the double zero is a significant support or resistance level. The market will often react to that. Not always, but it does. So yesterday and today was a perfect example of when it does. There's a few things that I want to talk about as far as these indicators. These indicators, the first one that I'm going to be watching throughout the entire time this is setting up. Let's say we go back over here to this one. So I'm watching this short-term move here, this little rally. It goes up to the 3,000 and clears. It goes as high as 11, and it bounces around for a little while. We don't know if it's going to continue and find another extension to go higher, or if it's actually going to reverse, or just simply go sideways for a while. Either one of those three possibilities. But eventually, even when it's going sideways, it's eventually going to go either higher or reverse and come back down with enough time. So the indicators that I'm using to help me confirm the reversals are the Bollinger Bands, the bandwidth indicator, and the CCI. So you'll see that when price is moving and making new highs here, new relative highs initially on that uptrend, it's a pretty strong, decent uptrend relative to this time frame. The candles and the bodies of these candles are closing outside and above the upper band. That shows me a sign of strength. That's healthy. That's exactly what I want to see if I'm also expecting a reversal. I want to see that on the first or the initial attempt, as it's making its move either to the upside or to the downside. I'll show you the one for the example on the way to the downside, which was a downtrend. This is an uptrend. I want to see these candles closing outside and above the upper band. That's exactly what I want to see. Because when I finally get my reversal signal candle, I want to see that the signal candle is actually closing below the upper band. You'll notice how, again, on the initial move, the candles are closing outside and above the upper band, which is exactly what it should on a sign of strength. And then when it flattens out and it's done, then it prints the reversal. And now the candles are closing below the upper band. Here is my divergence in the CCI. I was watching it the whole time. That last right there, that last price swing high, that was at 3011, 1.3011, and you can see that there's clear divergence in the indicator. At that point, I need to wait for the reversal candle. There's my reversal candle. The candle itself also tells me a few things. I want to see this candle, the reversal candle, close at least 60% of the length of the opposing bullish candle. I'll show you what it looked like in the opposite direction when it was closing at least 60% of the length of the opposing bearish candle. I'll show you that in a moment. So everything is lining up, right? I know that I'm trading and price is around the 3,000 psychological level, the 00. That is a technical level that could create an opportunity for me just like this. So when it hits the 3,000, I'm aware of it. When it hits the 2,900, I'm aware of it. When it hits the 2,800, I'm aware of it. I'm aware of these levels. You should be aware of these levels anyway, even if you don't see a price swing high or a low that sits around that range. You should still be aware of that. Really mean a reversal, just watch. And then you're going to get these clues, right? We're watching, and then we see price slowly coming back inside of the upper band. And then we get the reversal. We see the CCI divergence. I like using the CCI to help me confirm divergence. Some people use the MACD histogram. I like using the CCI. I've used the CCI for almost 19 years now, and it works. And it works for me because I keep using it, because I applied it and figured out ways to make it work just like this. And it works over and over and over again. So I don't have to change anything in the system. I just wait for the setups. So technically, again, the 3,000 level, noticing that the candles are closing outside on the initial push higher. Now they're starting to reverse and come back down. I'm getting this divergence here. The bandwidth indicator. John Bollinger said a long time ago that if you took away all of his indicators and just left them with two while he was trading with the Bollinger Bands, he would trade with bandwidth and percent B. Percent B is normally on my charts. Most of my coaching students don't like trading with percent B. Bandwidth is enough for the most part. And we need to conserve some space. We want to see what these candle patterns are doing. The CCI and bandwidth is sufficient. I would recommend taking it a step further if you really want to learn more about Bollinger Bands. Use and apply percent B. Those two indicators, bandwidth and percent B, with Bollinger Bands, help me identify tops and bottoms. So does the CCI. I need a little more confirmation. I use the CCI. I like the CCI. So that's one of the ones that I'm going to go to as well. So bandwidth needs to turn down, even if it's just one tick. It's got to be turning down. It can't go sideways or flat. It can't be pointing up. It's got to be turning down on that reversal candle. And that's exactly what I got shortly after the signal when that candle closed. I saw the downturn here in bandwidth along with the divergence here in the CCI. The candles again closing inside and below on these reversal candles, below the upper band and also below the 3000 psychological level. That's my signal candle right there at 90, 1.2990. My targets are going to be psychological levels in a range like this. I use them all of the time. I always have used them. They work, they repeat over and over again. 80, 50, 20, and the 00. Those are my psychological levels. If I get in at 90, I can't trade it to 80. There wouldn't be any profitability in the trade. There would be no reason for me to be executing this trade. I'm not interested in scalping. I used to do that years ago. I don't care to get in and take 3 pips and get out and trade 5 or 10 lots on a 3 pip move. I don't want to do that. There's no reason to do that. Yeah, I can simply wait for the choice trade opportunities like this, where the reward to risk is more balanced in my favor by looking at all of these different signals that come together. The 3000 level, the way the bands were moving on the outside of the Bollinger Bands on the way up, the way they stayed inside and below the Bollinger Bands on the reversal, the divergence in the CCI, the 3000 technical level, the downturn in bandwidth. All of these things came together for a picture perfect. I always refer to it as a picture perfect trade. This is exactly what I want to see. If this reversal candle pattern would have developed above the upper band, I would not have sold it. I would have been suspicious of this move, and I would have thought it's likely to turn around and go right back up and keep moving higher. So I would have stayed away from it. Picture perfect trade works like this all of the time. Again, the entry at 90, 80 is the psychological level, but again, there's not enough profit in there. I know that if this is going to be a significant reversal and a bounce off of resistance, 50's got to be my target. If it doesn't look like there's enough momentum at the time that I get that signal to expect price to go down to the 50 target, then I'm not going to take the trade. I have filters. So I'm watching the markets. I'm watching and engaging futures and volume, not currencies. I mentioned, and I meant futures. Futures, with some of the videos here on this channel, I think that there's some of them posted. When I'm trading the dollar yen, I'm also trading and watching Japanese yen futures. Japanese yen futures is going to give me a deeper level of the amount of participation, the volume, the momentum, all of that. And I do the same thing with the pound, using pound futures, euro futures, same thing. So again, back to this reversal, I need to make sure that it's likely to even hit the 50 target. If it's not, and things are flat, things have dried up. Let's say volume levels have dried up. It's after 12 o'clock lunchtime, New York time. Things, sometimes they just go flat. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. And if I can identify that, then I'll pass on the trade and wait for a second entry opportunity to sell it. But in this case, everything was fine. Everything was fine with this trade. Nothing was wrong with it. And then it moved down. It took a little bit longer than I expected, but it hit the 50 target. And then it resumed to the downside. And then here is the 2900 psychological level right there, the 2900. And you can see right there with that candle, it hit the 2900. So there's a possible reversal, right? We're trading inside of this range using both the 00 levels. Actually, I'm going to put the 2900 just so you can see it there. That's the 2900 psychological level. And then I waited for the reversal. And again, you'll notice, sorry about that. You'll notice on the way down, the trend was a little bit different on this one. We had a slight retracement and then it resumed. This one was just a strong, for the most part, straight move right up into that resistance level, the technical resistance at 3000. This one took a little bit longer. Nevertheless, the structure is still here. It's still moving in a downtrend towards the 2900 technical level, and then it reversed. That was my reversal candle. You'll notice again that the candles are closing outside and below the lower band on the way down. And then when that reversal candle completed and gave me the signal, it closed inside and above the lower band. That's what I want to see. Lots of divergence here in the CCI. Let's take a look at the CCI. So on that last price swing low here, you can see that there was clear divergence here in the CCI. That's what I want to see. The last thing I need to wait for is for bandwidth, the indicator, to turn down, indicating that this extension, this piece of this downtrend is done. The fact that it turns down, that bandwidth turns down at a support low, that doesn't guarantee a reversal. It's everything else that I'm piecing together. When I call it a picture perfect opportunity, it's the candle patterns, how deep the candle is trading and closing against the opposing bearish candle. In this case, it was the bullish candle, right? Remember, it was up here. So it's the exact opposite, but I need to see that these candles are closing in the opposite direction deep, that it's really showing a strong move in the opposite direction at a key support level with clear divergence in the CCI, noticing how the trend is moving around the band, the Bollinger Bands, and then waiting for the, sorry about that, the downtick. I'm just going to leave it there. The downtick here in bandwidth. At that point, I know I have my trade. This was a little bit different, where this morning I waited for this retracement to take place. I could see that it was likely to take place. I also realized that it was likely to be another retest of that support level. Sometimes it'll go a little bit lower. Nevertheless, it was still another retest of that support. And I did not get in when I got that close completed candle there at 23. I waited. I waited because I could see that there was going to be a retracement. And I still didn't have my downturn in the bandwidth indicator to confirm that move. So that's the other thing I was waiting for. I needed that last bit of confirmation or I won't take the trade. Back in 2001, when I first started trading, I was so excited to get into trades. If I was missing one piece of confirmation according to my system, I still jumped in anyway. I was presuming and predicting. And when I was predicting and presuming that I knew what was going to happen, that's when I lost on my trades. I don't do that anymore. I lost a lot of money as a result of doing that. And there's no reason for me to do that. So 19 years later, approximately, I still keep trading, waiting for confirmation or I won't take the trade at all. And I say all of this because I think you need to be aware of how I'm trading if you're going to be using the trade copier, because this is what I'm going to do when I'm trading for you and those trades get executed into your MT4 account. These trades paid off perfectly. So again, let's talk about the targets. So again, the entry at 23, psychological levels again. The 50, the 80, the 20, it was beyond the 20, so it wouldn't make any sense. So the 20, the 80, but the entry was at 23, the 50, the 80, and the 00, and then it repeats to the 20, the 50, the 80, all the way back up again, and all the way back down. In this case, we had some Brexit information later in the day, and it spiked up first, clearing the 80, and then dropped. And here we are presently, looking for an opportunity to sell it, if that's what happens today. We had a strong bearish candle today. And so neither of these trades got stopped out. These were fine. These were just bounces off of these technical levels. But we've got a strong bearish candle. And I would expect more to the downside at this point. My opinion could change. This could stop and turn around and go right back up inside a consolidation. And at that point, when Wednesday's candle closes, the daily candle, then I would reevaluate and reassess the conditions at that point there. But I would expect maybe more to the downside. It looks like it's got, if it's going to continue lower, it looks like it's got quite a ways to go. Another maybe 120 pips to the downside before it runs into a significant support low on the daily time frame for the pound dollar. I'm not calling out a short. I'm not saying I would sell it right now at this point. But if it gives me signs and an opportunity to sell it, I know where I'm selling it to. I know where my targets are. I'm just waiting for an opportunity. Right now, I think that things are going to bounce around a little bit here at this point, so I'm on hold. I'll probably be watching during the London session when it opens, and then maybe sometimes, like what we saw here, this was a reaction during the New York session. It's possible that they may delay some of the information and the statements that they have until the New York session about Brexit and things like that. It happens. It's been happening quite a bit lately. So I'll be on watch for that as well. So again, these are great trades. I just want you to know how I'm trading these reversals. The other trade technique that I have and that I use is the continuation breakout trade. So I've got a lot of videos here on this channel about continuation breakout trades, and that is something that I execute on the 1 hour time frame. So if I get some of those trades on Wednesday, I'll show you those and I'll make a video here live and I'll post it on this channel.